Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Yesterday, KI Live, you know it, you love it. KI did their classic KI Live stream where they kind of go over things, talk about the state of the game, answer some questions, all that. And as usual, I am reviewing it, going over it with a little bit of help from the Amoplex. They post a rundown of it on Twitter after every KI Live, and that's usually where I get my info from. So I do appreciate that. Make sure to go drop them a follow if you want. But without further ado, let's get into it. I am excited, as always, to react to what KingsIsle is thinking. And that's what my favorite part of these streams are, is, you know, getting a gauge on what KI is thinking. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with the first point, Pirate101. They're working on much more for Pirate, but they need to get further before they discuss it, maybe next month. So that's good to hear. We have been seeing that they're working a lot on Pirate, and that does make me really excited. I love Pirate101, so that is exciting news, and hopefully we do hear about it more next month. You know, I'm ready to get some updates on it and ready for them to explain what's popping with that. EU accounts cannot be merged with US accounts. More information later on the EU server transfers. So they released this information like 2 days ago. I didn't actually upload anything about it on my channel because I didn't think it was really necessary. But if you remember back in my EU Wizard 101 and save video like 4 days ago now, I don't know, I said there is a chance that they merge, but in all likelihood they're probably not going to merge. That is what I said in the video, and I gave some kind of ideas on why they would, why they wouldn't. Well, it turns out they won't, and that really does make sense. I will say I didn't think that they were going to. They're going to make new EU servers, which isn't actually that bad of a thing, to be completely honest. I know some people might have wanted that full merger, but realistically that was probably highly unrealistic, especially after all the crown sales and item sales that Gameforge had been doing. So that doesn't surprise me really in the slightest, and realistically the most major outcome to this is you're probably going to get some new updates soon. So that's pretty cool. A few dev diaries are being worked on. Love to hear it. I always love the dev diaries. Gives me some content to react to. I do like that. Also, just generally, I do love hearing about, as I said, what the devs are currently thinking. Knowing what the devs are thinking really means a lot to me. It's really good to be able to understand what they're thinking and kind of get a gauge on where their thoughts are, so I'll eagerly await some more dev diaries. They will start dropping hints about the spring update between this KI Live and the next one, so probably early March. Nothing right now though, so we don't know exactly what's coming in the spring update. We do know spell elements are one of them, but beyond that, not too much. One of the special guests, Ryan, is a pirate product designer. He is excited to add more items and long-awaited packs to the shop. Well, hopefully they add a little bit more than that. I don't think KingsIsle realizes this, but to a vast majority of the audience, when we hear things like long-awaited packs, we don't go, yeah, packs, woo, so excited, new packs in the future. Most of us roll our eyes and go, you know, hopefully that there's some more updates beyond that. And I know that there is usually more updates beyond that, and I'm not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing, especially since Pirate is very behind in that regard. But I will say, but definitely hyping up packs is probably not the best thing for Pirate, and they did this a little bit in like the last KI Live too. So I just hope that we see more beyond that, at least. That's in my eyes. I don't want to be like too insulting, you know, I just would like some more. If you could add one thing to either game, what would it be? Mercedes said events/activities or UI changes. I'm assuming that's for Pirate101 because definitely Pirate needs those a lot. Cam says Beast Moon improvements and new forms. I don't really care about Beast Moon, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. And that was that. Decius will put hair highlights and Castle Magic card for activating player on the list of suggestions. Not sure about the Castle Magic thing, but hair highlights are a really cool feature, and I always do love those in a game. I do love hair highlights. Really adds a lot to hairstyles. So hopefully that they actually do something like with that. That would be really cool in my eyes. They're working on a gauntlet that will be coming out soon. Mike Sears did a Scottish accent for the hint, heavily implying Albion, a Skyway, and Marleybone, especially considering recent gear icon leaks. So this is really cool. I always like the gauntlets. I think gauntlets are really cool because there's actually a lot of effort put into them, especially some of the more recent ones. There's so much effort put into these, and I know not everyone likes them, but I actually really enjoy them. Like the Doomsday Croc Gauntlet looked beautiful. And I really hope that they continue putting a lot of effort into that, and an Albion one would be really cool. If you don't know, Albion is, as it says, a Skyway in Marleybone, and we saw this in Pirate. This is where Bonnie Ann is from, where Foxes are from, Monstrologist Burke, technically. Just a pretty cool place, at least in my eyes, and I'm excited for the things that they can do with this. I would actually really like to see perhaps some tension between the Marleybonians and the Albions. I don't know what the demonym for that is, but it's something along those lines. It would just be cool to see some like tension there, like in real life, and just see some like interesting story being written around them. Scottish people, always really cool, you know. It'll be cool to see them in the game, and I'm really excited for them. In terms of new PvE spells, all schools have something to look forward to, including upgrades, according to Ratbeard. So that is some interesting things to know as well. I am excited for some new upgrades and spells. Spells are always really fun, you know, they add more dynamics to this game, and it's just really cool to have, you know, different things to use. I know that we don't always use different things, but having the option at least to use different things, just a really cool thing. And I'm excited for some upgrades as well. They're going to level band the world spell elements, so you have to be the appropriate level range in order for them to drop. That's interesting. I do wonder what that means. Does that mean if I'm on my level 100 fire, I'm not going to be able to get fire cat spell elements or fire elf spell elements? I am curious to what that means, because potentially this could be really weird, unless it's just a minimum. So if it's like you can't teleport as a level 1 fire into Dragonspire and get those spell elements, that makes sense, but if it's for the higher levels reverse, that is really weird. I am curious to what that means exactly. I'm not sure. So hopefully that will be clarified in the future, but I'm at least curious to know what it means. If it's a high level can't get low level spell elements, that's really weird, and I hope that it doesn't stay. Death Draconian will be buffed, and some Beast Moon UI will be polished, so more Beast Moon stuff, pretty cool. Pirate101, in the Crown Shop, most purchased is the Dashing Outfit, Boarding Knives, and Lucy Sterling. Least purchased is the large Snowy Maple Tree, which sold 2 times. So interesting, that doesn't exactly surprise me. Lucy Sterling is the Crown Shop version of Sarah Steele, which is probably the best companion or one of the best companions in Pirate101. Doesn't surprise me at all. Dashing Outfit looks cool. Boarding Knives look cool as well. And it doesn't surprise me that a Maple Tree is the lowest selling in the Crown Shop. So just some cool, interesting statistics. In the past, they would give Mark Packard a bullet list of things they were thinking about for music. For Lemuria, they probably communicated with Nelson more than any other time in the past due to how in-depth they went with world building. That doesn't surprise me. Lemuria definitely feels really in-depth with the music. I love a lot of the music, especially Heap. Heap has really cool music. Just overall, it definitely is a music-driven world, as most worlds in Wizard 101 are. So it excites me that they're communicating with him at least, and definitely it shows like that they're communicating with him, because the music for Wizard 101 is just amazing. So I hope they continue on those lines. The ability to use advanced movement on wands was removed. Will it return? Wands on walls are complicated because the automatic position doesn't play nice with advanced movement. Maybe they'll allow it in the future. That doesn't surprise me. Wands do have that like snap in place movement on walls, so it's not that surprising that the advanced movement doesn't work well with it. Also, they can't make it so that it goes through the wall, because then it's potentially unrecoverable. Stuff like that's kind of rough, and I'm sure that they'll work something out potentially. More extract spells for Monstrology are in the works and coming. Cool. Good to know that Monstrology is still being cared about. I don't particularly care about it. It's just a glorified Pokedex feature that is kind of worse than a Pokedex, but you know, it's there. It's okay. Cool that it's still getting updates, I guess. These last few are basically just things about some voice acting things. I don't really know too much about the voice actors and actresses, but just some cool little things. Leah was the first person to enter the VA booth, and she literally screamed when asked to by O'Leary. That was used for Banshee. Cool. Robert Kraft, I'm assuming not the football guy. I think there's a football guy called Robert Kraft. Voiced Wing Chun and Grandfather Spider. He also did a lot of one-liners. Cool to know. Mike Sears voiced Quake Charmer, Milo Greytail, and Gandry. Elizabeth Maxwell voiced Shadow. Mike McCrae voiced Bartleby in the old one. Bhopal voiced Hercules, Boochbeard, and Sinbad. Sam Johnson may have voiced Fool, but he definitely did voice King Detritus. Someone named Tim voiced Ratbeard. He does not voice act anymore, and neither does the VA for Bonnie Ann, so they'll probably need to get some new VAs for that sound similar, or potentially try to get them back. I don't know how much that would cost, but we'll see. Mark voices Bat Masterson. So pretty cool. And then the code KI Live Super Boots is not available anymore. Sorry for that. If you want that, you got to catch one of their KI live streams. But some pretty cool changes here. I would say the most important ones to look at are the Pirate101 ones, because Pirate101 is going to get some updates in the future, and that new Gauntlet that's coming out, which sounds really cool about Albion, so I'm excited for that. Probably going to come in the spring update. Really cool at the very least. Also, there's some stuff about spellments and spells, but we'll have to see in the future. But that is really it for today. I think that those are the highlights. Let me know what you think about in the comments below. What do you think is the most important, and do you think this is cool? I think some of these are pretty cool, and I'm really excited for the Gauntlet. Definitely, I might buy it. Depends on the Gauntlet, so we'll see. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video. Adios.